My warm-up is that I never warm up. In general, I hate rules. I'm not the player that starts with scales, then arpeggio. I'm not that kind of person, sorry. When I started to play guitar, I played lots of Giuliani, Sor, Carulli, Carcassi, all pieces by those composers, because my teacher told me to do that, but also because I think that there is basically all the basis of the technique, but also all the basis of the tonality, what classical music is. My first teacher, I asked my parents I want to study with the best, so I chose the best in my city. He was a really great inspiration, and I think he gave me everything he knew. If you don't have structure, then you are more free. I think that it might help with musicality, with just do what you feel. That's my way to do. I started to play guitar because in many Italian songs, for example by Angelo Branduardi, when I listened for the first time that sound, I said, well, I want to play this instrument. If I didn't know, I never saw a guitarist play the classical guitar. The first classical music I listened in my life was for orchestra and piano, because my mother used to play piano. I love chamber music, but I must say that guitar with an orchestra, for me, is amazing. We have a wonderful repertoire. I really love when you find a conductor that you can have a connection with. I went to Carlo Marchione and Daniello Desiderio. They both were the most big inspiration. Carlo Marchione represents science and Daniello religion. When you trust in the science and you trust in religion, you feel something strong both ways, but completely different. That's what I felt at lesson with them. I'm really proud of what I learned from them and what they represent in our world in two different ways. I use the piece to learn technique, but also I think that in those pieces there is the basis to understand music. Then you can go forward and play what you want. My goal is to play in all the stages that the guitar deserves to be and to be listened. This is not only my goal, I think it's the goal of all my generation and the generation before my generation and all the generations. I really would love to see that the guitar finally get the position she deserves. I think that the classical guitar has lots of potential that maybe is well known between guitarists, but in general, if you talk with other musicians, artistic directors, they think about the past of the guitar. They really don't know. It's not that the guitar doesn't have the same potential of the violin or the cello. It's simply that violinists and cellists show that to the audience and the pieces that are written for those instruments. For us it's a bit different, but it's not that we can't reach these results. I hate when people say, but it's impossible to do those stuff with classical guitar. No, it's impossible for some guitarists maybe. So I really believe and I really want that the guitar go in the places and on the top level that she deserves. I had many beautiful moments. I think that the more unique was to play for the Italian president. I played chamber music with Giuseppe Gibboni, my boyfriend, and some solo pieces. And it was a unique emotion because we were in the Cappella Paolina at Quirinale, and Sergio Mattarella, our president, was sitting the first row. just like there. And it was a really, really special emotion. I will choose the guitar with good strings, even if it's not a good guitar. The feeling of what you have under your fingers makes all the difference. The string is the filter between the player and the instruments. If the player is good and the string is good, what is missing is the projection, the resonance of the instrument, but not the attack, the quality of the sound. And if you have that, you only have to find the guitar. I've been playing the Dario since I started to play guitar. Even if I tried other strings, I never felt what I feel playing the Dario. I really think about the sound and I get that sound. And that's very important. When I started as a Dario artist, I was 16 years old and was a great emotion to be artist of the strings. I play the Dario XT, normal tension, and the trebles I play third and second carbon and first nylon. I also enjoy to play the first string titanium, so sometimes I switch nylon or titanium. And this is the setup I really like, all normal tension. The feeling you have under your fingers is incomparable to other products. And also when I try another guitar that is not mine and has different strings, I really can't taste the guitar because I can only taste the guitar with my strings. I change often the strings, and I know it's not the best to change the string just before the concert, but I do that because I love the sound of new string, especially basses, but also the trebles. I change mainly the strings the day before the concerts, and when I practice, I change the strings each week. Before playing concerts, I always put the same makeup, same style. It's something I still do the same for many years. On my face and on the guitar must be the same stuff. The strings must be new. If I play with those strings, the concert will not be good. I use the Dario tuner. I love the efficiency, but also the design. I recommend the Dario to my students because I really believe in what I do and what I use. I really found my instruments with those strings. My way of playing is part of my way to see the guitar and the sound. It was very big emotion to see the Dario and all the process live. I didn't imagine what was such a huge amount of work and people behind 6 strings. I only can imagine what will be happening in 20 years. My advice is, first of all, to love the guitar for what she is. If we want to let the guitar sound like a piano, or we want to imitate other instruments, we have to see and the beauty of our instruments and the potential of these instruments. Second, focus on the repertoire for solo guitar, but also try to play with other people, just to understand how the other instruments practice and develop. For example, a violin player starts to play with piano when they're little, just in the first years of their studies, and this changed completely the mindset. Also, classical guitarists, each of us think I'm the soloist. Because if you played all your life alone, you will think I'm the soloist. That's normal. And so we are less conscious of which is our real potential. Because sometimes the problem is not this one, is the person, no? So try to grow like a musician. Definitely do chamber music and try to find your real potential.